We are talking communication, and I cannot wait for you to go through this information. It has been a long time in the works. It has been over a year of me experimenting with this in our own communications and really wanting to start conversations and how that plays out in email marketing. So, you have a workbook available, you have this entire mind map available, and we are going to go through each of the different pieces. Now, keep in mind that this is all about communicating. It's all about talking. We're going to relate it to email, but I think you would agree that the world is really noisy, that it's no fun waking up to 200 noisy emails in that inbox. It's no fun sending emails and then hearing crickets and more crickets and more crickets. That what we really want as we are building businesses is we want connection, we want community. We are making products and services that we're very interested in, that we're curious about, that has built up into a passion, that has built into our joy, and we would love to talk with people. So let's get started, and we are going to start in my favorite place, which is word doodling. And as we are going through this, I encourage you, get out your whiteboard, get out a sheet of paper, and just, follow along. If you want to doodle as you go, you don't have to watch the video. You can just listen to me walk you through the process. So we are going to start with one of the words that showed up in communication, which was imparting your knowledge. Well, what does it mean to impart knowledge? Well, when you look at it, it says communicate, pass on, convey something, relate something, where you're sending it out, you're putting it out into the world. Makes total sense. I encourage you, look at the synonyms and look at the words and then ask yourself these questions. What word has feeling behind it for you? And when we're working through word doodling that the feelings can be what we would label positive, or they could be what we would label negative or even heavy. They're not judgment feelings. They're simply, when you're reading words, when you're working through this process to help you arrive at what is going to be the most effective communication method for you via email, your email conversations, you want to know, what do you feel when you hear those words? Write it down. Write it down in word pictures. Write it out. And ask yourself also, is there an intent behind the words? If I'm relaying something or if I'm telling something, is there an intent? Does there need to be an intent behind that? So the reason for this is, what are the words that you're sending to someone else? Think about just for a moment, and we're going to go through this from so many different angles, but really think about, are you inviting the reader to start a dialogue with you, to converse with you? Are you sharing words that would lead to more words, which then lead to more words? And what is the purpose? What is the intent behind those? You're having conversations. You are a wonderful person. You're an incredible business owner. And you want to think about this. It's not just your products and your services, it's your conversations. What are you talking about out there in the world? And really think about your intent, because the motivation, the purpose, the objective, when you have an idea and you have taken the time to clarify, why am I doing this? What is the purpose that it is serving? There is a reason that we started with simplification and focusing in on what was really important to us, because of when you know your purpose, guess what? It bubbles over to the intent. When you know why you're doing something, it bubbles over into the conversations that we're having. So if you didn't yet go through the simplifying material from last month, I encourage you, the bundle's right there. You can totally go through it when it's convenient for you. Now, the other part of communication that was in the definition is exchange. So again, we're going to look at the definition. So it says an act of giving one thing and receiving another in return. How many of our conversations are exchanges? How many are one-sided? I wrote an email, I created a sequence, I sent it out. Nothing happened. I wrote an email, I created a sequence, I sent it out. Nothing happened. I wrote an email, I created a sequence, I sent it out. Nothing happened. Well, maybe it's because we're missing this vital piece. Maybe it is that, what are we doing? What are we circulating? How are we using those words to create communication, to create conversations? So when you look at it, and it's an experience. Every part of our businesses are an experience, and it is why you can have a vacationing life during every single minute of every single day, because suddenly everything that we're doing, the tasks, the people that we encounter, they're experiences. And so what is this exchange experience that you're creating for your customers as you are passing on information? I love that people, when they have something meaningful to say, let me know. I like being a part of the dialogue and looking, that's a better way, looking at email as a conversation, as a communication, as an experience, suddenly starts to get past what I'll call the noisy layers and get down to real dialogue with people, knowing, hey, I know how to talk to people. I know how to make experiences. I know how to have people over for dinner and invite them out, to meet me for lunch or, have fun with them at a party. I know how to do this. Even us introverts, we know how to do this. And we're really good at doing it online. So when you look at the experience, involvement shows up. The definition is we're being involved. We are participating. We also have all of our good old synonyms, which we love. And this is where too often the sending and receiving of emails, it's not Disney to me. Now, when I say Disney experience, that is a perfect trigger word for me and billions of people worldwide, because there are very few companies that know customer service on every single level as well as Disney does, including all of their communications. When you book a vacation with them, what arrives in your email and arrives in pamphlets is so incredibly customized. Intellectually, yes, I know it's all automated and generated because they have the systems to do it. But it really feels like a conversation, and that if I were to pick up the phone and call, that the person's name at the email would be the one that answered the phone, even if it wasn't their real name. And all of it is such a beautiful experience because they recognize it starts with the conversations and it continues with the conversations. So how could you create this sense of involvement with your words, with your actions? And another question you really need to ask is, where do you want involvement from the individuals that you're taking the time to sit down and write an email and send it out? What do you want them to do? What kind of involvement do you want them to participate in? Because we're going to reverse engineer that. Again, it's going to come down to our intent. It's going to come, why are we doing this? What are the conversations that we want to have? And you know how to do this. You absolutely, If I picked up the phone and called you right now, we'd have a lovely conversation. We know how to do this. We might just need to be reminded that it really is as basic as just thinking about what are we asking people to be involved in, to do, to talk with us about. And it has nothing to do with squeezing more sales out of a sales funnel. It just doesn't. It really, really doesn't. And it's not going to. It's going, thankfully, we're all remembering that we love the smell of homemade baked goods. We love being able to use computers to stay home, and we like the human experience. We like connecting with people as part of our day. That's what we like. So when we are involved, when we're creating our conversation, creating our Disney experience, what is participation? What does that mean to you? What have you participated in? And big picture in life, what have you participated in? But on a very applicable, granular level, how often are you participating in email conversations? Are you getting any email conversations as the person receiving the email? Are they engaging with you? Are they inviting you to participate? So that's the question I want you to ask is, do you participate or contribute to the email conversations that you are a part of? If yes, how are you doing that? Why are you doing that? It has to be a meaningful process or you absolutely wouldn't do it. And if you're not, why not? Is there no invitation? Which is the case most of the time, unless the invitation is typically buy more, buy more. No, conversations. We are talking. In good ways, we are talking. So to participate, you have to contribute something. If Kip's going to participate in soccer, he has to contribute something. So when you're looking at the definition of contribution, what really jumped out for myself was where it said the part played by a person or thing in bringing about a result or helping something to advance. And it just hit me. How are you inviting the person on the other side of the discussion to contribute? What is their part? And what do I want their part to be? And how am I helping them play their part? Because this part right here where it says bringing about a result or helping something to advance, that's the whole point, is this generating more positivity, generating more action. We're very much in the throes of noticing the world around us. Colors, everything, there is a high contrast right now going on. And that is beautiful because it means we're involved, we're participating, we are paying attention and having fun. So look at contribute. What does that mean? Again, this is where I went with my word doodling process, is I looked at contribution. We'll jump right back real quick. And you'll see it says a gift or payment to a common fund or collection. I was like, okay. The part that I really liked was the part being played by the other person. Like we really are working together in bringing about whatever the purpose is, whatever's going on. Because here, it just looks in, if you go to it, to give something. Okay, he gave something. Well, yes, when it comes to email, a lot of times the focus has been sales. It really has. Thankfully, it's changing. We like conversations. I like talking to people. I like wanting other people to want to talk to me. But if you look at help to cause or bring about, be instrumental in, be a factor in, have a hand in, those are really powerful words. Those are people on the other end, as they should be. They are part of conversations. They are They have thoughts, they have ideas, they have lives that you have been invited in to contribute to. You know, we're all invited in. If we are creating conversations, it's because we've been invited in. So that is why I think this is so incredibly important as we're talking about conversations and a discussion. You know, we're exchanging ideas. We are going back and forth. And this is where I really took a moment and said, okay, what is the last really great conversation I had in real life, in our real world? Well, who was I with? What were you talking about? Why were you together? What was going on? And I could come up with quite a few really great conversations that I have played a part in. And then I continued that thought and I said, okay, well, I do a lot of my life online, so let's look. What was the last great email conversation I had? Or a conversation that I had that started because of an email? I was looking at an email conversation that I was on the recipient end of. So, because really looking and seeing, okay, what is going on? I'm the receiver as much as I'm the sender. Actually, I'm far more the receiver than I am the sender. Thank you to Kajabi and the Penthouse Toolbar idea. But take a moment, really think about your email conversations. Do you want more of them? Would you love to send an email out to the people that you care about and have people reply and start a discussion and start a dialogue about whatever it is that you were telling them about? So that is the question. What are those conversations that you want to have? When you're sending email, what do you want to talk about? Why are you sending it? What is the purpose? What's the intent? Are you inviting people? Are you asking them to be a part of it? And when you're doing those things, it's a direct result of being interested, being attentive, being fascinated, being captivated by the other side of the discussion, by the other side of the conversation. So you're interested in people, you're interested in what's going on for them, and all of that plays off of a curiosity. And that is where I went with my word doodle journey, is going through and really when I got to the curiosity portion, saying, what am I curious about? What do I want to know more about? Where do I want to investigate further? What do I want to do? What's prompting me to, again, go all the way back to the beginning and say, what words am I sending out into the world? Because we're starting conversations all over the place. Now, the next video, we will start with you as the receiver of emails. As always, any questions, ask them early and often in the comments below. And I think we're really going to have a lot of fun. I hope we have a lot of fun talking about this. See you on the next video. Bye.